All right, guys. So uh, I just launched WSL, which is a Windows subsystem for Linux. But if you're on a Mac, you can open the terminal. Okay. If you search for terminal, command space bar and launch terminal, you'll see this command line terminal. Okay. But if you're on a Windows system, you would need this WSL. Okay. WSL is a Windows subsystem for Linux. Okay. I mean, pretty much you're running a Linux on top of Windows. Okay. And this is a non-graphical thing, so all you can do is command line kind of editing and all that. Okay. All right. I'm hoping that you guys launched this, and if you're on a Mac, you can launch the terminal. Okay. All right. So once you launch that, let's go over some basic commands. Okay. So let's say if you want to look at all the files that are in this current directory. So I'm currently in this directory, C Windows System 32. That's the directory. And if I want to see all the files, I can do ls. ls command is list. Okay, so it's going to list all the files that are in that directory. Okay, so it's going to show me all these files. Maybe there are thousands of files here. So let me go to some other directory. This is fine. So I'm going to do ls here, and that shows me all the files. And by the way, the screen clarity, the font size, everything is okay, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, all right. So the basic command, one of the basic command is ls. ls is list all the files in the current directory. Okay, and that will list all the files. Now, I'm not interested in seeing other files. Let's say I'm only interested in .exe. Okay, I just want to find out all the executables. Okay, so I can do ls star.exe, and that will display only the executable files. Okay, so the ls takes some parameters. Okay, and you can give whatever the parameters you want, and it will filter for those things, and it will give you those. Okay. Now I have these files, but I don't know what is the time when they are created. Okay, so I can do -l. -l is a long option. Okay, so and that will tell me when the file was created, along with the filter criteria that I put there. Okay, so I can do ls -l star.exe. Okay, now you can see that 2023 is here and 2022 is here, and in between there is 2023 and all that. Okay, now let's say I want to sort it. Okay, so I can do ls -lt star.exe. So it's going to sort based on the time. So you can see 2023 is on the top and 2020 is on the bottom and all that. Okay, so these are called arguments and these are called parameters. I mean, yeah, these are some options. Okay, so these are some options for the ls list command, and these are some parameters. Okay, so every command has some options and some parameters. Okay, if you don't give anything, it will run the default behavior. Okay, but if you give some criteria, then it's going to apply that criteria. Okay, so here I'm saying give me only the executable files, show me the date time, and sort it based on the time. Okay, that's what I get. Okay, now let's say I want to do the reverse sorting. Okay, I want the latest one at the bottom and the old one on the top. Okay, so there is something called R. R means reverse. Okay, so you can say give me long.
Bro, your voice is somehow low.
Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. How about now? Is it same thing or?
Yeah, now it is okay.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I have some issues with the audio microphone, so let me know if you don't hear this sound. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. So let's say I want to sort it the same timestamp, but I want the latest file at the bottom and the oldest file on the top. Okay, so you can do OR option. OR means reverse. Okay, reverse based on the timestamp. Okay, so if I want that, the latest one is at the bottom and the oldest one is on the top. Okay. Okay, so let me also open the chat here. Okay, if you guys have any questions, you can put it in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and you can ask also. Okay. Okay. So yeah, this is a list command which is taking some filtering criteria, and it is taking some options, and it's doing that. Okay. So that is ls. Now let's say I have this file let me create some temp file. Okay, let me go back. Okay, by the way, you see this cd means change directory. Okay, and when you say ... you are saying go to the parent directory. Okay, I mean, as I'm typing this, you guys can also practice this on your own terminal. So you can do ls minus ltr or whatever the filter criteria that you want. You can try that. Okay, and yeah, cd means change directory, and I'm saying go back to parent directory. Okay, so these two dots means go back to the parent directory. Okay, and let's say if I want to create a new directory, I can do mkdir. Mkdir means make directory or create new directory. Okay, so I'm going to create a new directory called temp. Looks like temp already exists. So I'm going to do cd temp. Okay, that means I'm saying change the directory to temp folder. Okay, if I do ls, there is some file called python repo. Okay, okay, but here I'm trying to show you guys mkdir. Mkdir means make directory, and cd means change directory. Okay, now let me create some temporary file. Okay, there are a couple of ways you can do touch. Okay, let's do to delete.txt. Okay, so if I do ls, you're going to see that file called to delete.txt. Okay, so this touch command is going to create a file if it's not existing. Okay, so it's going to create an empty file. Okay, if I want to see the file contents, I can do less command. Okay, less to_delete.txt, and that shows empty screen. That means there is no content inside the file. Okay, and to exit this, I'm going to press Q. But anyways, I'm giving you a bunch of Unix commands. So if you went through those links, you should see. Yeah, if you went through those links, you should see those commands, like 40 or 30 commands that are in there. Those are all like basic commands. Okay, so you guys should be familiar with those basic commands before we jump into C++ coding and all that. Okay, and yeah, so that is the command line. But for us to run a C++ program, we need a compiler called G++. Okay, so this comes by default. Okay, so if you run G++ minus version, so when you install WSL, it automatically installs G++. Okay, so this is a compiler that you use to compile your program. Okay, C++ program. If you're on a Mac, I'm assuming it's already installed because Mac has a lot of C++ programs behind the scenes. So if you run this command G++ minus version, that should automatically show some version. Okay, it doesn't need to be the latest, but it should be something that you should see.
Bro, hello.
Yeah. Tell me.
When I run the touch command, it created a file in the directory. But when I run the less command, what happened is it created some colons, and then at last it is end.
Okay, I'm gonna give you some screen sharing permissions. Maybe you can share your screen and show us.
Okay.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, I made you a host. Maybe you can share your screen.
Yeah.
And I'm on Mac, and I don't think I have C++, G++ in my Mac.
System? Oh, really? Okay, do one thing.
When I tried G++ version, it is asking me to install software. When I click install, it is showing me 79 hours left to download. Why?
Do brew install G++, see what happens. Okay, let me look at Jawhar first, and I'll come back to you, Rohit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you do less hello.txt. Okay, that means it's okay. The tilde means it's empty. Okay.
Okay. So
yeah.
How do we get out from this one?
Yeah, so you have to press the Q. Q means quit.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, Mac kind of shows a tilde. That means it's an empty line. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
You can also use bash commands, right, to open
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can.
SH.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Rohit, I'm going to make you host. See if you can share the screen now. Okay. Okay, so it's saying brew install. Okay, command not found. Interesting. Brew is the Mac's installer. Let me quickly search for something. So Jawhar, you have the same issue that when you run G++ minus version, you don't see anything, right?
No, bro. I'm getting.
You're getting a version number?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, okay.
No, you have not agreed to the export license agreement. You must agree to both licenses.
Oh, okay. So it's saying no developer tools for founded code. Choose an option in the leveler to download the command line. Oh, yeah, I'm not sure about this thing. Okay, one second. Rohit, try brew install GCC. GCC is GNU compiler, the same thing. Let's try brew install GCC. Yeah, hit enter.
I think we need to install brew before installing.
Oh, I thought this is standard. Comes with a Mac. Okay, try to install brew first. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. And if we like write the code in VS Code,
Yeah.
again, why do we need Linux?
Oh, to compile this and get the output and all that. So VS Code, you can write the code there, but you need some compiler. So the Linux command line or a Mac command line. I mean, you are already on Mac. You don't need anything else there. Okay. We can use the G++ directly there.
Okay, like if we build application in IntelliJ, we can directly run it over there, right? But not in VS Code. It's like
No, on Windows. On Windows, if you're running C++, it has to be like a VC++, Visual C++. That that is not exactly C++ version. VC++ is like Windows bastardized version of C++. Okay, so the actual real version is on G++ or GCC, which is a real Linux C++ version. Okay,
okay.
Yeah, if you're running from Windows directly, it will be running VC++, which is not exactly what we want, which is not the same C++ version. Okay. Yeah, fine.
Bro,
Yeah, Jawhar, you want to?
it's showing Apple CLang version 14.0.3.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you have some.
Yeah, so I have some issue like while using I forgot the name, like initialization. Like we use bracket for initialization. So C++ 4.11, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, that is different. The compiler version is different, and the C++ version is different. So I think what you see there might be. I mean, if you're the latest version, okay. So I don't think it's a older version, so that should be fine there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry.
My question is like how to change that compiler
how to
version.
Change to latest C++ version, right?
Yeah, because it shows 1998.
No, that is the copyright 1998, I guess.
Okay, we have to mandatorily run that command to change the version. Okay.
No, this is automatically. I think if you do brew install update, GCC update or upgrade, that should update to latest version. But what you have there is fine for now. Okay, I mean you're not going to run into new features right now. We're just starting off. But yeah, for now, don't worry about the latest one. Okay.
Okay.
Tiffany and Ketana, you guys are okay? I guess Tiffany, you are at the work right now, but Ketana, are you okay?
Yeah, hello. I actually don't have access to my laptop. I'm so yeah, I'm actually outside. I don't have access to my laptop, so I just thought I'll like listen for now.
Oh, okay. I guess both of you are on the same. Yeah, Tiffany.
Sorry?
I think Tiffany is also outside. She's not.
Yeah.
She's not in the home. Okay, that's fine.
So yeah, can I get like the access to the recording of this class so that I'll follow and then download it?
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. I'm gonna send you the recording. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
And for installing the commands, like we need to configure if our system is ZSH or bash, right? Commands would be different, right?
Sorry, Rohit. Say it one more time.
Like for installing brew or we have two type of systems, right? One is bash and one is ZSH.
Yeah, anything is fine. Bash is better.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Any command line. Any of the shell is fine. Yep. Alright, guys. So I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen. Okay. All right. So I'm assuming at this point you guys already have this G++ minus version. You should see some output there. Okay. It doesn't matter whether it's the latest or the old or anything. For now, we should be fine. Okay. All right. Let me launch VS Code. Oh, you know what? So if you go to the Windows thing and you launch VS, let me share the entire screen. Okay, so if you go to your Windows thing and say VS Code or Visual Studio Code, start typing, you should see that app there. Click on that. Okay. So you're going to see something like this. Okay. Release notes or whatever. Okay. So first time, maybe you have to do this new or open folder. Okay. And before you can create or open some folder, I want you to go create a folder. Okay. So I'm going to create some folder inside the temp directory. Okay. So here I have, hopefully I'm sharing the right screen. You guys can see the command line, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay. I have two monitors. Just want to make sure that I'm sharing the right monitor. Okay, so here I have this command line, and inside mntc temp directory is my work environment. So I'm going to use that directory. Okay, so I'm going to say file, open folder, and I'm going to say cmount, mntc temp directory. Oh, by the way, if you want to get the current directory, you can do pwd. PWD means present working directory, and that should tell you the current directory. Okay, so it's in /mnt/temp, right? So I'm going to go to ch. Okay, so here I am. Okay, so I'm going to say select folder. Okay, so that opens this folder, which is the temp folder. Okay. Okay, do you want to trust? Yes, I trust. Okay, so this is all good. Okay, so this is what you're going to see. So pick the folder that you created, open that folder in VS Code, okay? And you can say new file. And this time I'm going to say hello.cpp, okay? It's asking me where do you want to store and all that, okay? So I'm going to create hello.cpp. So you're going to see this new tab here that's going to say hello.cpp and all that. Okay. So here I'm going to write a basic program, which is like hello world. That's all it's going to do. It's going to print hello world. Okay. So include IOStream. Okay. Hello world.
So can you zoom in somehow?
Oh, you want to? Okay, sure. Let me just share the Visual Studio Code so it's better. So you know what, I'm going to share two of them. Yeah, can you see this Visual Studio Code?
The
Text.
text is too small.
Text is up. Give me 1 second. How about now?
It's okay now.
It's good now, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
So I have a simple program here, which says here is a main function, and it's going to do cout hello world and return 0. Okay. Let me see if I can increase the font here. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So C++ is also case sensitive, right?
Correct. Case sensitive. That's correct. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to install some extension for C++. So extensions are nothing. I mean, Visual Studio Code, VS Code is just an editor. There are some nice features that you get through extensions, like autocomplete. You start typing something, it's going to let you finish off your word and all that. So there are some keywords, C++ keywords, that can be automatically, pop up whenever you're typing out. So here we have this include errors with please update your include path. See this is the thing. If you're running on Windows, Rohit, you might be able to run directly from your VS Code, but you need VC++, other things. Okay, so we're not worried about that. So we're going to write the program here, but we're going to compile that from your command line, which is WSL. Okay, or in your case, it's a Mac. Okay, G++ Mac. For Mac, it might be G++. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, you are able to install G++? Or GCC?
I think, yeah, it's about to be done.
Okay.
Yeah, it's done. Check the version.
Okay, fine. All right, so I'm going to send this code in the chat. You guys can just copy paste, put it in the VS Code. Okay. Okay, so I put it in the chat. So it's a simple 3 or 4 lines of code. Okay. So there are a couple of things here. First, we are saying cout. Cout means we are outputting. Okay, it's like a print statement. Okay. So we are saying output hello world, and then we are returning 0. This 0 is the return value for a main. Okay. So in general, most of the systems out there, 0 means success. Okay. This is the error code. Error code means whoever is calling this particular main program is going to get that error code. Okay. And that error code, if it is non-zero, that means some error has happened, and that error signifies, that error identifier signifies what is the error. Okay. If you say 0, that means there is no error, everything is good. Okay. So most of the programs you're going to see return 0, but if I put return 1, that means there is some error and the error code is 1. Okay. Or you can put something like 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's error ID 1, 2, 3, 4. So here I'm saying 0. That means there is no error. Everything is good. Okay. All right. So this is the program that I have there. Okay. Now I'm going to compile this. So I'm going to go back to screen share and share my command line. This command line now. Okay, so here if I do ls, I should see my new program, which is hello.cpp. Okay, so you should see that. Okay, I can't increase the font here. Oh yeah, I can actually. Okay, hopefully this is better for you guys. Hello.cpp. Okay, all right, so I'm going to do g++ hello.cpp. So this is how we're going to compile this program. Okay. Okay, there you go. And we're going to do a.out. Okay, before we do a.out. So when I compile the program, there's a new file that popped up, a.out, that wasn't there before. Okay, so this is the executable that was generated when you compile this guy. Okay, so to run this program, I would simply put this /a.out. Okay, and you're going to see it prints this hello world here, right here. Okay. All right. Now, instead of a.out, I want that name to be something else. Okay, so I'm going to compile that, and this time I'm going to say -o, and I'm going to say hello.exe or just hello. Okay, and if I do ls, now you're going to see a file called hello. Okay, because we gave the output file as instead of a.out, I'm telling it go to this program called hello. Okay. And you're going to see that command there. So if I run that, you're going to see the same output which we saw with a.out, which is hello world. Okay. Yeah, this is a very basic. I mean, if you have this so far, that means your environment is set up. You have Visual Studio Code running good. Your WSL is installed correctly, G++ installed correctly, and all that. Okay, so far we just verified that your setup is everything good, and we learned about STDC out. Okay.
Can I share my screen once?
Yes,
I have
sure.
G++ version, but the code is not getting executed. I'm getting some error.
Yeah, sure. You can directly share it. I made everyone shareable. I mean, anybody can share the screen. Okay.
So this is a code. I just copied and
Yep.
I think it should be closed.
No, that's fine. That's good.
Okay. Then
main referenced from. Wait. Let's see. Undefined symbols. _ main. Can you do? Okay. Apple CLang version. Implicit entry or start for main executable. Is it capital H hello.cpp or is it something else?
the file name I saved with the capital H itself.
Oh, you stored with capital H. Okay. Can you do less here? Less hello.cpp. Yeah. Nothing is there, huh? Maybe you saved in a different location. Or maybe you didn't save it. You need to press Ctrl S.
Oh, Amanda's okay.
Yeah. See, there's a dot on the. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Now do less.
Not it auto save.
No, yeah, this doesn't auto save. Yep. Now do.
Okay.
Execute that. There you go. Okay. If you do ls, you should see a.out now. Yeah. Run that a.out. And to run it, you say /. A.out. No space. Yeah. There you go. Okay. You got it. Okay. All right. Jawahar, is everything good for you?
Yeah, it is good, bro.
You are able to compile and get the output and everything, right?
Yeah, everything is good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. So Yeah, so Cout, as you figured out by now, that just outputs. Okay. Now, as we saw, there was no new line here. It was right where you want. I mean, right where along with the command prompt. So I'm going to put a new line, and to put a new line, I can say endl. Endl means end of the line or new line. Okay. So I'm going to save this and compile one more time. So every time you change your program, you need to recompile. And here I'm going to run the program. And this time there's a new line here. Okay, you can see it went to the next line, this guy. Okay, that's because we put a new line. Okay, stdendl. Okay, you can also do this. Instead of doing that, I can also do /n. /n means new line. Okay, okay. So I'm going to compile this, run it. Okay, so it also prints a new line. Okay, so you can put new line or stdendl. Okay, same thing. Okay. All right. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. Now let's look at some basic variables, how to declare the variables and all that. Okay. So you can say int x equal to 10. So here, C++, you have to define the data types. Okay. In Python, you don't need to declare anything. You can just say x equal to 10. That's it. Okay. The Python will figure out what you're assigning based on the value. And based on that value, it's going to say x is an integer, x is not an integer, or a string type and all that. Okay? But for C++, you got to say what is the type of x. Okay. So if you say x equal to that and you say 10.5, it's going to throw an error because an integer, you cannot have a decimal value in an integer. Okay. So you just say int x equal to 10. Okay. And then the other data type is float. Okay. Well, let's do this. Age equal to 10. Okay. Float money equal to 1234.56. Okay. So here, as you can figure out, float means it's a decimal value. Okay. Now, if you want a really large decimal value, there is something else called double. Okay? Double is really, you can store like a big value. Okay. A big amount equal to like a really long value and so on. Okay. So there's a difference between float and double. Float is like if you want to store up to like 4 bytes. Okay. So this is 4 bytes long. Okay. By the way, if you put a // that's a comment. Okay. Comment means that's not part of the code. It's just something that you're putting there for descriptive text. Okay. And double is 8 bytes. Okay. So yeah, float is for smaller amounts. Double is for larger amounts. Okay. There are other data types, characters like single character. Okay. You want to say sex is it male, female. Okay. Okay. So you can have this. These are the basic data types: integers, float, double, and character. Okay. And then there is another type which is a Boolean value. Okay. Boolean. Okay. Is like a true false kind of a thing. Okay. Is processed. Equal to true. Okay. So you can have a Boolean value, characters, integers, floats, and doubles. These are all like basic data types that comes with the standard C++. Okay. Now, yeah, that's that. And yeah, Boolean value. There is a function called size of. Okay, so if you want to see what is the size of each of these data types, you can do this. Let's see out. Size of x. Okay. So size of is going to tell you how many bytes is it going to use. Okay. So here I'm going to say.
Bro, your voice is not proper.
Oh. Okay.
Something is echoing.
Okay.
Yeah, now it is okay.
No, it's okay. Okay, fine. Yeah. All right. So here we are printing the size of integer, and then we are saying size of age. Okay. So there's a function called size of that's going to tell you how many bytes internally it's going to use. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing for other things, for other data types. Okay. Size of float. You can also directly do this size of float. That's also same thing. Okay. Size of double. Size of character. Size of boolean. Okay. So if I run this thing, then if I okay. So by the way, here is some compilation issue. Okay. So whenever there is any compilation issue, the compiler will tell you exactly what line number, what column number that error is. Okay. So you can see that in this file, hello.cpp, line number 5. So if you go to line number 5, you will see this statement. And it also highlights line number column 33. Column 33 means this guy. Here there's an issue. Okay. So it's unable to understand this thing. And you can see there's a typo there. Okay. So instead of saying std, I have st capital D. Okay, that's a typo, and it's clearly pointing out what the error is. Okay, so this is what the compiler does. It checks your syntax, and if there is any issue, it will tell you right away. Okay, now compare that with Python. If it's a Python program, I have to run the program, not just compile. Okay, you might be running in production, you might be running in a client environment somewhere. You won't get that error until you run the program. Okay, it's too late already. Okay, because you already deployed your software and then you're running into errors. That's too late. Okay, but C++ will do the compile time checks. That means it's going to compile the program and it's going to tell you, hey, you have a typo here. Maybe you want to fix it. Okay, without fixing, you can't even run the program. Okay? So I'm going to line number 5. Okay, which is this thing. And I remove that D. Okay. Okay, I'm going to recompile this. Okay, so it compiled successfully. I'm going to say hello. And you can see that size of integer is 4 bytes. That's expected. That's we know that. Size of float is 4. Size of double is 8 bytes. Size of a single character is 1 byte. Size of a boolean is 1 byte. Okay. Yeah, so the size of function is going to give you the size of that particular data type. Okay. Now, if you have a complex data type like structures, classes, the size of function will still work fine. Okay. The size of function will still tell you what is the size of that user-defined data object. Okay. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me close the window here. Yes, I'm going to give you this code so you can run this locally. Okay. Okay. So I sent the code in there. Okay, so that's the size of function. Now there are other things that we want to get into, which is like simple if conditions. Okay, so there is something called if condition. If the condition is true, you want to execute something. If the condition is false, you want to execute something else. Okay, so I can have something like if is processed. So I can say I can do something else it is not processed, we can do something else here. Okay, so I can say stdc out processing is finished. That's what I'm going to print.
TD out is like system.out.println.
Yes, that's correct. Exactly, that's what it is. Yep.
And do we need to end the line, std end line for each statement, or?
Not for each statement. I mean, you can put an /n if you want. Anything is fine. It's the same thing. Okay. So most of you might already be knowing this. You have a if condition. You can execute something. Else condition. You might execute something else. Okay. Now, you can have multiple if else if. Okay. So you can have if else. Okay. I can also have if money is greater than 1,000. I can execute something. Okay. You can also have if else if chaining. Okay. You can have other else also, or you can also have this if age is greater than 10. Then do something else. Okay. Else. And so on. Okay, so you can have multiple if else if. That means you can chain these different conditions together. Okay. All right. Any questions?
Can I share my screen once?
Yeah, sure.
I think you need to stop sharing.
1 second. Okay.
So I tried just for only the int, the size of the int statement, and then when I save it and trying to compile
Okay.
this, I'm not getting the size of this statement. The size.
1 second. std. Oh, you have a return 0 on line 6. That means it returned right there. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
So,
it stops on line
exactly.
5, right?
Yeah, because line 6 you said return 0. That means main has returned. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, try that. I mean, you still need a return 0 in the end, because the main function is yeah, it's going to compile. It's going. Oh, it didn't complain. Okay, fine. Yeah. But ideally, the G++ should compile saying that your main function is supposed to return an integer, and you're not returning anything. So you need to have.
Can we return 1 or only, like, why do we only return 0?
Yeah. So if you go back to your command line, actually save this. Yeah. Go back to command line, rerun one more time. All right. Now do echo echo space $, question mark. Yeah. Hit enter. Okay. So that 0 is the previous command output. Okay. The previous command return value. Okay. So now go back to your C++ program and do maybe like 1 or 2, return 1. Save it. Rerun the recompile, rerun. Okay. Now do echo. Okay. See that? So that return value that you're returning is pretty much the caller is gonna get that. Okay. So let's say you have some script that is calling your program, and that script wants to know whether you succeeded or failed. Okay. So that return value is going to tell the script or the shell that whether it succeeded or failed. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can put any value you want, as long as you have some kind of a contract between the caller and yourself.
Okay.
What it means. Yep. Yeah. Jawhar, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, bro.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go back to screen sharing. Okay. All right. So you can have multiple if else if conditions. Okay, that is fine. Okay, I'm going to go back to go to for loops. Okay, so you can loop through something, certain condition. Okay, so until certain condition is satisfied, you can continue execution of some piece of code. Okay, so I can have something like for index equal to 0, index less than age, let's say. Okay, index plus plus. Okay, so here plus plus means you are incrementing one at a time. Okay, so you can write that, or you can also do index plus equal to 1. Okay, is the same thing. You are incrementing the index one at a time. Okay, so you're starting off with index 0. That's the initial value of that condition or execution, and you are executing the loop until this condition is true. Okay, that means your index is less than age, it's going to execute until that condition is, when the condition is false, it's going to come out of that for loop. Okay, and here index plus plus, that means that's the increment that's going to happen for every iteration. Okay, so this is how the syntax looks like. Okay, for initialization, okay, some condition and increment, decrement for each iteration. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. Okay, so we are saying that for initialization means the first time, what do you want it to do? First time I just want to set it to 0, and then you have a condition. That means until this condition is false, keep looping there. Okay, and if I do index plus plus, that means it's going to increment. Okay, so I'm just going to print this std index. Okay, maybe end up end line. Okay, so now first time index will be 0. It will print this guy, and after printing, it's going to do increment. Okay, it's going to increase index by 1, and it's going to check whether that condition is true or not. Since that condition is true, it's still going to execute that. So it's going to continue executing until the index is greater than or equal to age. Okay, once it reaches age, it's going to stop that execution. Okay, so let me run this program, and you're going to see this print 0 to 9. Okay, because age is 10, you're going to see index going from 0 all the way to 9, and once it reaches 10, it's going to stop, because at that time index and age are equal. This condition is false. Okay, okay, you're going to see 0 to 9. Okay, okay, same thing. I mean, you can do the reverse also. I can do something like this. So the initialization, maybe I want to start with the age. Okay, so I want to set the index age, and I want to say continue executing until the index is greater than 0. Okay, once it reaches 0, I want to stop it. Okay, and instead of increment, maybe I want to decrement. Okay, so here we are saying start with age, that means 10, and go all the way until index is greater than 0. That means it goes all the way to 1. Okay, so 10 to 9 is going to print that, and for every iteration it's going to decrement it. Okay, so you can see it went all the way from 10 to 1. Okay, all right, so every one of these condition, every one of these things is optional. Okay, so I can also do this for index. I don't need to yeah, let's come up with it. I can skip that first part. I can skip the second part. Every one of these is optional. Okay, so I can skip.
Your voice is breaking. How about now? Is this okay or same thing? Good.
Okay. All right. So what I'm saying is inside the for loop, every one of these is optional values. Okay. That means we have an initialization part that's optional. The condition is also optional. This increment decrement, that's also optional. Okay, so I can just put it something like this: for colon colon. That means there is no initialization, no condition, no increment decrement, nothing. Okay, this is infinite loop. Okay, so now if I run this, you're gonna see this printed forever and ever. Okay, so I'm gonna run the program, and it's actually printing that. Okay, now to stop that, I can do Control C. Control C means stop executing that. Okay, and on Mac, I think it's Command C or Control C. I think it's the same Control C, but yeah. So here,
Can you add a message in the above statement, above for loop?
what do you want me to add?
Like a statement saying this is age for each line.
We already have index, right?
Yeah, it's gonna give a number, right? Like, can you add a message before that?
Yeah, sure.
Statement.
So this is first loop.
Yeah, okay.
Second loop here. You want me to comment this infinite thing? Because it's gonna scroll down very fast. Okay. Okay. First loop 0, 1 to 9. Second loop 10 to 1. Yeah. Rohit, is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here we have this no initialization, no condition, no increment decrement. Okay. And we are running this cout, which is going to run forever. Okay, so you might be thinking, why would anyone want to do that? Okay, so maybe we are doing something like get clock. Okay, you might do this if clock equal to that. If clock hits equal to maybe 12 o'clock, then you can do this break. Okay, break means come out of the loop. Okay, so maybe you want to execute something for until some condition is satisfied. Okay, so you want to execute this piece of code and you want to compare and all that. Okay, so if you want to do something like this, like a break statement, break means stop executing the loop, come out of the loop. So you might do this also. Okay, so there might be some use cases where you may not specify a condition, but you might have a break statement inside the loop. Okay,
So what is that data type through for clock?
get clock.
Yeah, this clock variable.
Yeah, it should be string data, right? We haven't talked about strings. So I was just giving you an idea. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, this is not a real function, get clock. I just put that function there. If you search for it,
Okay.
yeah, there is no such function there. Okay. I mean, this won't even compile if I run this. Okay.
Yeah.
I was just demonstrating. Yeah. Yeah, but you can have some situation like this where you want to execute some piece of code, and when some condition matches, you may want to break. Break means come out of the loop. Okay. So there might be some use cases where you might not see any condition, but inside the code you might see some break or something like that. Okay.
Okay.
Right, so this is the basic for loop. Okay. And yeah. Okay.
Do we also have while?
Yes. We also have while loops. Yep. So while loop is very similar, but while just takes a condition. Okay. Nothing else. So here I can say index less than age. Okay. So index equals 0, while index less than age, you can continue executing. Okay. Just I'm gonna comment this time infinite loop. Oh, by the way, if you want to comment, you can just highlight and press Command/ for a Mac, and for Windows you can press Control // Okay? Control / will uncomment because it was commented. If you want to comment, you press Control /. Yeah. // comment on comment, it toggles automatically. Okay, so that's one advantage of using some editors. They make it easy. Okay, if you didn't have an editor, I have to go to each line and // but yeah, okay. So you also have a while loop. A while loop is very similar. It just takes a condition. It doesn't.
Your voice is too low. I can't hear.
Maybe I should have restarted my system before starting the class.
Actually, something is echoing, bro. Like your voice goes down and comes up again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Maybe you guys want to hold on for 1 minute. I'm going to rejoin, restart my system and rejoin.
Sure.
Okay. All right. You guys have to, I think it will end the meeting. So maybe you guys have to rejoin the meeting. Okay.
Okay.